On the Sunday evening of June 7th, 1981, 1800 hours, 15 miles southeast of Baghdad, a French engineer named Damien Chaussepied walks through the Osirak nuclear research facility. His shift is almost over. Most of the Iraqi technicians have already left for the day. That's the pattern every Sunday. Skeleton crew, quiet evening, home before dark. The sun is setting from the west, low, blinding if you look at it directly. He doesn't hear them coming. At 600 knots and 100 feet off the deck, you don't hear anything until it's too late. 8 F-16 Fighting Falcons, call sign Nets, streak across the Iraqi desert in complete radio silence. Each jet carries 2 Mk-84 bombs, 2,000 pounds of high explosive under each wing. 16 bombs total, enough vaporize a nuclear reactor. They've been flying for nearly 3 hours. 1,000 miles from Etzion Air Base in the Sinai, hugging the border between Jordan and Saudi Arabia, where radar coverage is thin. No one has seen them. No one has intercepted them. 10 miles out, flight leader Zaev Raz pulls back on the stick. His F-16 climbs from ground level to 10,000 feet in seconds. 3 more jets follow. The second wave stacks behind them. Chaussepied is still inside the reactor dome when the first bomb hits. 7 minutes. That's how long it takes to destroy a nuclear program. Rewind 5 years. France and Iraq sign a multi-million-dollar contract. The French will build Iraq a 40-megawatt research reactor called Osirak, named after the Egyptian god Osiris in Iraq. Construction site, Tuwaitha, 15 miles from Baghdad. The French promise it's for peaceful energy research. Iraq insists the same thing. Israel doesn't believe either of them. A research reactor produces plutonium as a byproduct. Extract enough plutonium and you have the core of a nuclear weapon. India proved this in 1974, used a peaceful Canadian reactor to build a bomb. Now Iraq, with French help, is building the same capability in the heart of the Middle East. For Israel, this is existential. They're a nation of 3.3 million, surrounded by 150 million Arabs across 22 hostile states. In 1948, 5 Arab armies invaded hours after Israel declared independence. In 1967, Egypt blockaded Israeli shipping and massed troops on the border. In 1973, Syria and Egypt launched a surprise attack on Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the Jewish calendar. 3 wars in 25 years. And now one of those enemies is building a reactor that can produce weapons-grade plutonium. Iraq ratified the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, pledging inspections and no weapons. The International Atomic Energy Agency confirmed compliance, but the treaty has a structural flaw. A state can legally operate reactors, accumulate plutonium in the reactor core, then withdraw from the treaty, extract the plutonium, and weaponize it. Israeli intelligence, Mossad, reports that Osirak will go operational by September 1981. Once it's hot, once fission begins, you can't bomb it without releasing a radioactive cloud over Baghdad. 1 million civilians downwind. The window is closing. Either they hit it now, or they live with a nuclear-armed Iraq. Prime Minister Menachem Begin makes the call. Operation Opera is greenlit. The Israeli Air Force has a problem. Osirak is 700 miles from Israeli territory. That's 1,400 miles round trip. Most Israeli fighters don't have that kind of range, especially not while carrying bombs heavy enough to crack reinforced concrete. Then in January 1980, the first F-16 Fighting Falcons arrived from the United States. The Israelis call them Nets, Hebrew for hawk. They're exactly what the mission needs. The F-16 has the range, barely. With external fuel tanks on the wings and center line, it can make the round trip with enough reserve for contingencies. It can carry the Mark 84, a 2,000-pound bomb designed to destroy hardened targets, and it has a continuous computed impact point system in the heads-up display. That means the pilot can see exactly where the bomb will land before he releases it. Precision matters when you only get one pass. The IAF orders enough F-16S for the mission. 8 aircraft with spares in case anything goes unserviceable. In the summer 1980, the Negev Desert, Israeli engineers build a full-scale replica of the Osirak reactor in the sand. Same dimensions, same layout, same anti-aircraft positions marked on the ground. Fighter pilots fly practice runs every week. On the 23rd of August, 1980, the first simulated attack was carried out. The Israeli cabinet approves the mission in October. The raid was planned as early as November 1980. Then it gets pushed. Intelligence reports foreign technicians are still working on site. Israeli planners want minimal casualties. The mission is delayed. May comes. The mission slips again, due to a mix of technical, political, and humanitarian reasons. Then June. Sunday, June 7th. The date is final. Etzion Air Base, 12 miles from Eilat on the Red Sea, 1,500 hours local time. 8 F-16 Nets fighters sit on the tarmac. Pilots from 110 and 117 squadrons walk out in full flight gear. Each jet carries 2 Mark 84 bombs under the wings, 2 external fuel tanks, 1 centerline tank, and 2 AIM-9 Sidewinder air-to-air missiles, just in case. 6 F-15 Eagles will escort them. 2 E-2C Hawkeye early warning aircraft orbit over the Red Sea. They'll monitor Iraqi radar and radio traffic. 3 CH-53 Sea Stallion helicopters stand by for search and rescue. IAF planners estimate 1 to 2 aircraft losses. Flight leader, Lieutenant Colonel Zeev Raz, flying F-16 Nets 113. His wingman, Captain Amos Yadlin, in the historic Nets 107. Second element, Dubi Yoff and Colonel Relik Shafir in Nets 129. 4 more jets behind them. Radio silence is absolute. No chatter. No deviation from the flight plan. If they're detected over Jordan or Saudi Arabia, the mission is blown. If Iraq scrambles fighters, this becomes a dogfight, and the bombs get dumped in the desert. The Israeli Prime Minister himself gave the order. Now it's up to the pilots. 15:35 hours. Engines spool up. Canopies close. 15:45 hours. Takeoff. They fly west over the Gulf of Aqaba, then turn northeast, threading the border between Jordan and Saudi Arabia. Altitude, 100 feet. Any lower and they'd be kicking up dust trails visible from space. Any higher and they'd light up every radar screen from Amman to Riyadh. The terrain is barren, brown, featureless. Navigation is by dead reckoning and inertial systems. They thread the border for 3 hours. Jordanian radar sites are 40 miles to the west. Saudi radar sites are 35 miles to the east. The jets fly in the gap. But the Israelis bet on 2 things. First, Jordan and Saudi Arabia hate each other almost as much as they hate Israel. Their radar coverage along the shared border is sparse. 3 hours, 1,000 miles. Not a single interception. 18:35 hours local time. 10 miles from Osirak. Zeev Raz sees a target. The reactor dome rises from the flat desert like a concrete mushroom. Anti-aircraft positions ring the perimeter. 23mm and 57mm guns. Manned but not firing. They're not looking west. They're watching the Iranian border to the east. Iraq and Iran have been at war since September 1980. Every Iraqi gunner expects the next attack to come from Tehran. The sun is setting directly behind the Israeli jets. If anyone on the ground looks up, they'll be staring straight into a blinding glare. Raz breaks radio silence for the first time in 3 hours. Acquiring target. 18:35 hours and 30 seconds. Raz pulls back on the stick. His F-16 goes from 100 feet to 10,000 feet in less than 30 seconds. The others follow, 4 jets climbing in formation, afterburners lit, contrails streaming behind them. On the ground, Iraqi air defense crews are scrambling. They see the jets now, 4 fighters diving out of the sun at 600 knots. But identification takes time. Are they Iranian? Are they Iraqi? By the time someone figures it out, it's too late. Raz rolls inverted, pulls the nose down. 35-degree dive angle. The reactor dome fills his heads-up display. The CCIP system shows the bomb's impact point, a small circle projected on the glass. He nudges the stick. The circle slides across the dome. Centers, release. 2 Mark 84 bombs separate from the wings. Each one weighs as much as a small car. They fall in a ballistic arc, fins stabilizing the trajectory. Raz pulls hard on the stick. 6 Gs, blood draining from his head, vision tunneling, and levels out at 200 feet. Behind him, Yadlin rolls in. Same dive, same release, same pullout. The first bomb hits the outer concrete containment shell at 18:35 hours and 50 seconds. The dome is 8 feet of reinforced concrete. The Mark 84 punches through it like tissue paper. Explosion inside. Shockwave. A column of dust and debris blasts upward. Second bomb. Same hole. It follows the first one through the breach and detonates inside the reactor building. The structure shudders. Concrete cracks. Rebar snaps. Third bomb. Fourth bomb. Fifth bomb. Each one enters through the expanding hole in the dome. Each one detonates inside. The containment shell is designed to keep radiation in. It also keeps the blast energy in. Every explosion reflects off the interior walls, amplifying the destruction. The reactor core, a lattice of aluminum tubes and uranium fuel rods, is shredded. Damien Chauspierre is inside the control room. East wall. The roof comes down. He's buried under 3 meters of rubble. Death is immediate. 10 Iraqi soldiers die in the blasts, 4 at anti-aircraft positions, 6 inside the facility perimeter. 8 bombs hit the target. Out of 16 dropped. That's a 50% hit rate on a target the size of a basketball court from 10,000 feet while diving at 600 knots. It's over in 90 seconds. The second wave of F-16S pulls off target. 2 jets, camera-equipped, make a final pass. They photograph the damage. The dome is gone. The roof has collapsed into the reactor pit. Smoke and dust billow upward in a mushroom cloud visible for miles. 1837 hours. The Iraqi anti-aircraft finally opened fire. Tracers arc across the sky. 23mm shells stitching the air where the Israeli jets were 30 seconds ago. Too late. The F-16S are already gone, hugging the deck at 100 feet, racing southwest. Zayev Raz later says, "We knew they should have been able to see us 15 minutes before we got there, but their attention was on the east, not the west. We dropped our ordnance and saw nothing fired at us. After 2 minutes at low level, we climbed to 40,000 feet, and still they didn't attack us. We saw no fighters. We were surprised, even a little disappointed." The flight home is uneventful. No interceptions, no SAM launches, nothing. The Israeli jets climbed to 40,000 feet over the desert and cruised back to Etzion at optimal fuel burn. 19:30 hours. The F-16S land at Etzion Air Base. Total mission time, 3 hours and 45 minutes. Time over target, 7 minutes. Not a single Israeli aircraft is lost. Not a single pilot is scratched. The ground crews swarm the jets, refuel, rearm. Within an hour, the F-16s are redistributed back to their parent squadrons at other bases. Operational security. If anyone asks, these planes were never at Etzion. This mission never happened. But the smoke over Baghdad is visible from 50 miles away. The international reaction is immediate and furious. On June 12, 1981, 3 days after the Israeli Air Force destroyed the Iraqi nuclear reactor, the United Nations Security Council meets, condemning the strike as a clear violation of international law and a threat to peace and security. Iraq demands sanctions. The Arab League calls it an act of war. British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher issues a statement, a grave breach of international law. France recalls its ambassador from Tel Aviv. The French are particularly livid. One of their engineers is dead, and their multi-million-dollar reactor is rubble. U.S. President Ronald Reagan suspends all further deliveries of F-16 fighters to Israel. The aircraft that just destroyed Osirak were American-made. The bombs were American-made. The optics are bad. Reagan needs to distance the U.S. from the strike, at least publicly. But behind closed doors, it's a different story. American intelligence officials privately admit that Israel probably did the world a favor. Iraq's plutonium production capabilities eliminated. Saddam Hussein's nuclear program set back 10 years minimum. No American forces involved, no American casualties, no American responsibility. But here's the question that divides the world. Was Osirak actually a threat? Perhaps Israel wasn't willing to gamble. Not with Saddam Hussein. Not with a regime that had already attacked Israel twice in 1948 and 1973. Not with a dictator who publicly called for the destruction of the Jewish state. Menachem Begin defended the strike in a speech to the Israeli Knesset. We were therefore forced to prevent this danger in time. In so doing, we fulfilled a supreme obligation to our people and to history. The world condemned him. June 7, 1981. 11 people die in 7 minutes, 1 French civilian, 10 Iraqi soldiers. The Israeli government pays restitution to Chauspier's family in November 1981. Amount undisclosed, not an apology. Acknowledgement of an unintended casualty. Iraq never rebuilds Osirak. The program goes underground. Secret facilities, hidden labs. But without the reactor, without the plutonium production, Iraq's nuclear ambitions stall. In 1991, the United States leads a coalition against Iraq. Operation Desert Storm. 700,000 troops, 2,700 tanks, 1,800 aircraft. Saddam's army is the 4th largest in the world. Military analysts agree that if Saddam Hussein had possessed a nuclear deterrent, the U.S.-led coalition might have been deterred from a full-scale ground invasion to liberate Kuwait. American military planners acknowledge this in classified post-war assessments. The 1981 Israeli strike removed a strategic variable. No one in Washington condemns Israel anymore. By the time Saddam is toppled in 2003, American forces find scattered equipment, old documents, and abandoned plans. No weapons, no reactor, no bomb. The debate continues. Was Operation Opera justified? Was it a preemptive act of self-defense or an illegal act of aggression? Did Israel prevent a nuclear Iraq or just delay the inevitable? The answer depends on who you ask, but the fact remains, Iraq never got the bomb. And in the decades since, not a single nation in the Middle East has successfully weaponized a nuclear reactor. Ze'ev Raz retired as a brigadier general. Amos Yadlin became head of Israeli military intelligence. The other pilots scattered to commands across the IAF. Today, the reactor is still there. The ruins of Osirak sit in the desert outside Baghdad, a concrete monument to the shortest war in modern history. 7 minutes. That's how long it takes to change the world. Subscribe for more untold military history. Was this strike justified? Leave your answer below. See you in the next one.